Good morning, all. As we get very close to the cross quarter day of Bealtaine, and I'm sitting out here in the little grove in the Coire garden, um, just want to share some thoughts with you about this time of Bealtaine, and particularly this idea of the sacred marriage, the sacred union of masculine and feminine. Yesterday was priestess training day for Coire, and the current level 1 students were here for our Bealtaine session. And as part of that, we did a little ceremony around the fire, um, basically crowning each woman as divine masculine and divine feminine, with that sacred union taking place within the self, so that each was crowned as king and queen of herself. I think this is really important, and especially in the context of, in these times, much more awareness about that broad spectrum of sexuality and gender, that the idea of the sacred union is not just about male and female. It is about the balance of the qualities within the self. And then in intimate relationships, how those are like mirrored back to us. And essentially, my sense of it is, if we don't have that sacred feminine, sacred masculine acknowledged and balanced within us, then the person we attract into our lives is not going to be in balance. So, if we understand the sacred union to be about that union of energies and qualities within the self, and then reflected back to us by that person who, you know, if we are in intimate relationship, that person who mirrors that back to us, or the person we want to call in. It's not about whether we're in a heterosexual relationship or, a same-sex relationship, about whether we're gender fluid, non-binary people, whether we're trans, whether we're straight, whatever we are. It is about the qualities reside in each person. And so to own that and really reflect on, how do I relate to the divine masculine within myself? How do I relate to the divine feminine within myself? What is it that I want to call into balance? And this it broadens it out, I think, and it makes it very inclusive, and it is about really coming into a point of authenticity in the self, a point of understanding ourselves and embracing all aspects of the self. Because only when we are in that balanced point can we have balanced relationship. And so, we look at the land. The land is nurturing, supportive. It's what gives us sustenance. It's where our food comes from. It's the beauty that is all around us. The energy of the sun, the energy of the rain falling upon the land actually, fertilizes that land. The seeds that fall from the trees. So this cycle is ongoing. This rebalancing is constantly happening in the cycle of nature. And yesterday with the students, we talked a bit about grief, and how grief at this time of year, it can seem so at odds with what's happening in the world of nature, with blossoming all around us at this time of Bealtaine, that sense of life force just bursting out. And I know the students were working with hawthorn yesterday, and one described just the energy surging up through what was actually a skinny little trunk on a not very old hawthorn, and that sense of the just life force everywhere. And so To experience loss, bereavement, grief at this time, it can seem so, I suppose, such a marked contrast, to what's going on in the natural world. And yet, if we look, not so long ago, the blackthorns were in full bloom here in the Coire garden, and I did a little video with the blackthorns. Now the blackthorn blossoms have gone, faded completely. The trees have reclaimed their green leaves. So now looking at the little grove of blackthorns there behind me, they're all green. And if the flowers and the petals, if they don't fall, then we don't get the seeds, we don't get the fruit or the nuts, and the cycle continues. And it's from that beautiful growth that the foundations are laid for new growth and new life. And the rotting leaves in the autumn, in the winter, create new soil, create the humus layer, So this cycle is ongoing, and that cycle is ongoing in us as well. Challenges come, challenges go, joys come, joys go, So I would say to you, blessings of this time of Bealtaine, blessings of the time of sacred union, and that sacred union is to be found within the self. So acknowledge your beauty, your strengths, your compassion, your love, your warrior energy to face challenges, and crown yourself. Claim that king and queen of yourself. Slán go fóill, grá agus beannachtaí.